cool.
What is your favorite episode?
My favorite episode of Star Trek?
On Warehouse 13.
My favorite episode of Warehouse 13 from season 1, it was an episode called Duped, which actually Derek and Ben wrote, where Micah goes into the mirror, Lewis Carroll's mirror. A great episode for Joanne. She got to do some great stuff, and it was around that time where I just thought, wow, I think we're doing something. And not to be too grandiose, but I felt like I was like, I think we're doing something special here. Because I just imagined the pitch meeting, like, okay, there's a Studio 54 disco ball. And when the disco ball goes out, they're gonna go inside of a mirror, and then she's gonna become, Alice Liddell, and it's like so outlandish. And
wow, it's like he was almost in the room, because I was doing the exact same thing. Okay, there is a Studio 54 disco ball.
Because that's exactly how Derek talks, right? He's a valley, Nick. But I mean, and I thought, wow, this show is really cool. And so from season 1, that would be my favorite. And then season 2, I think it was probably Around the Bend, which for me, written by Bob Goodman, for me it was a chance to explore the darker side of who Pete was. And ironically, the episode starts with Pete at his almost silliest. He's doing the Sherlock Holmes, and then he does the thing with the, what did you say, with the horn, and it's just this insane barrage of ridiculousness, or as Saul would put it, Eddie McClintock buffoonery, which is, so one day at dinner, Saul was like, maybe dial down the buffoonery a little this year. And I was like, and he goes, no, I mean that in the best possible way. Anyway, so that was my, and then this year, again, I think next week's episode.
Spoilers, sweetie.
What's the episode called?
No, what happened in Shadows?
Shadows. It's kind of, it's Pete and Jane centric.
We go back in time.
Yeah.
We travel back. Is that your phone? Oh, no, that's you.
That's Joanne.
It's my wife. Hi, Mama. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm at a panel right now.
Say hi.
Say hi to Kate real quick, and then I gotta go.
Is this really his mother? Lynn. Oh. He always says it's his mother. Yeah. It's good to hear from you, Lynn, but there are like 2,000 people there. We really can't chat now. I'm going to hand you to Derek.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? We're just hanging out on the panel. I mean, it's some great people out here. She says hello back.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we gotta go. I'm gonna hand you back to Eddie. All right.
I want to say something because I don't want to miss the opportunity to have said it to you. You meet a lot of actors who are good actors, a lot of actors who are trained, a lot of actors who are famous, a lot of actors who are many, many things. But this guy is a natural actor, and that's very rare. And I remember from my training as a very young actress, oh boy, this is going to be very difficult, because I too come from the school of shoot from the hip and skate fast. And when I met Eddie, I saw immediately he acts as quickly, if not more so, than he thinks. He's ahead of himself, and it all comes out in this beautiful sort of utterly natural way. So I wanted to give you that compliment in front of everybody. Thank you. I'm sure you're very natural too.
Actually, Derek, I do want to finish up that question.
Yes.
For you, what is maybe the favorite,
Well, I
your
think
favorite episode
it's,
to write?
It's
or-
kind of funny. I mean, Eddie pretty much hit it on the head. It was Duke for Ben and myself. Because that was our first episode. That was actually our first episode of writing for television. And it was also for the writers, which you start with, our amazing showrunner. I mean, he really is great. And my boss, Jack Kenny, who really is the captain of the ship, and he and it just really encourages all the writers. It's because it's a team effort. I mean, yeah, our names are on the credit, but I can honestly say that I'm, a part of every single story, and all the writers are, and because it's a huge, just collaborative effort. I mean, from the writing side and then to the talent side, and we have an amazing production.
But what makes it so special? I mean, we know it's tongue-in-cheek, we know it's very smart, we know it's very...
Other writers, and when you can have robots, I mean, when you can have arguments about robots fighting gorillas, or, a compass that could basically open up dimensional rifts in one episode, or, hey, let's throw Micah in a mirror. It's like, what? It's like, it's so much fun. And every single week we have, no one episode is the same, it's like delivering mini movies every single week. Not like Sharktopus, I mean, which are, awesome in its own right? I mean, unless you have Mega Pete versus Mega Crocodile or something like that. But we really just have a lot of fun. And I think for Duke was sort of like that episode where it all clicked for us. Because that was the first season where, if you go back, you look at all the seminal episodes of that first season. You have the pilot, and the pilot was in one sort of tone of like, okay, I think this is what the show's going to be. And then it wasn't until Drew Greenberg's episode, Claudia, where we introduced Allison, that really took the episode into another. We're like, oh, you know what?
Great, isn't she?
She's amazing. And it's like, oh, okay, we're a family. This is a family, and I think that's also what it is. I think we're a family through and through, even from the writers, the cast and crew. When we go up there, Jack invites all the writers to be a part of the experience up on set. He wants a writer up on set, and we're up there, and we just have a blast. I mean, have a blast with hanging out with Eddie, and it's someplace that you want to be every single day. So I think Duke was like
I'll vouch for that, yeah.
And then I think maybe for this year, 40th Floor just took it to another level for Ben and myself, because we wanted to do it high octane, sort of like 24 meets Die Hard, real time episode, and it just came together in such a fun way. We were just really excited about it.
And is it speaking out of school? Eddie, you'll have to educate me about your school. To talk
Took me
about
6 years.
what happens at the end and what's gonna, okay, speaking out of school.
Oh, what? No, ask what?
No, because I think that it's amazing the way we ended this.
Oh no!
This episode?
You have to
Snap.
watch.
Oh, I don't
It's
even
like-
want to talk about the way it ended. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
No,
Because
for all my Doctor Who fans out there, spoiler, sweetie, right?
But the way that 40th Floor ended, with Pete going, Mom? So brilliant. But the way we had it edited originally is Pete says, Mom? And then there's a beat, and then it fades to black.
Yeah, it cuts to black. We wanted sort of like that Lost, that sort of.
And then
But-
the way they did it was Pete goes, Mom, and they went, next week on Warehouse 13.
Yeah.
Pete said, Cialis.
They did it?
We got to squeeze in more
Jane becomes
commercial.
Jane Curtin, stay tuned.
But
Jane Curtin and Kate Mulgrew, battle it out. Cat fight of the century. Jokes versus Braun. Ah!
But next week's episode, what was it next week? Oh God, Dragon Con. How do you guys do it? No, it's Labor Day weekend. Unfortunately, it's not tomorrow.
It's not on tomorrow.
It's next Monday. Get out the way.
That's the response I got the other day when I said, man, I'm so glad to be here at Comic-Con. Come on, pour it on. I was drunk.
But
Is that so wrong?
next week's episode.
Take the next question, please.
Bob Goodman, who wrote 321, the big episode that had H.G. Wells in it this year, and Holly Harold, who wrote Queen for a Day, where we saw the other Voyager character,
I don't know who you're referring to.
Pete's ex-wife.
You didn't tell me that that's what she played. Needed a little extra Cialis for that one, did you?
I don't want my ladies to get all, in a tip and stuff.
Can't believe it.
I want my ladies to get all, up in arms and stuff.
a normal question. Yes?
This is for Derek. Speaking of artifacts, when you guys come up with an artifact, how much research goes into the potentiality of what created an artifact and what it can do?
Quite a big look. It's like, as we always kind of joke around, it's like Wikipedia and Google are your best friends, because it's so like, oh, okay, well, what if we got this type of artifact? Okay, what's the history on that? Is there a history on? Oh my God, there is a history on that. And my writing partner, he's a big history buff. He loves a lot of this old historical type of artifact stories and stuff. And so it's more or less when we kind of try to find an artifact that fits the story and the characters, we start with the characters first and then what they're going to encounter. So like for the spray paint can in the 40th floor, we start out with like, well, we need to find something that's going to bring a building down, and then we came up with an idea of like, okay, well, what if it is something from the fall of the Berlin Wall, the spray paint can? We're like, well, is there an actual spray paint can? And that's the other thing. So we kind of played fast and loose. I don't think there was actually one spray paint can that was used at the Berlin Wall, but we just wanted what's the sort of the provenance, of like get the area. So sometimes we'll be more specific with a like you said, the Rheticus compass, or it's like we have something that where you can have a real history for it. But other than that,
Or the Collodi bracelet.
yes, what?
The Collodi bracelet. What? But it said last week on last week's episode.
Oh yeah, it wasn't last week. Okay, you can't say it. All right.
They talked about Chiang Kai-shek or whatever.
It's not the name, so it's like
Spears.
the Cialis bracelet.
And they put it on my wrist.
You
I
were the
become
one
very
that
tough
brought it up.
very fast.
Yeah, so yes and no. Sometimes we just have a lot of fun just doing the research for it. Other times we play fast and loose.
Okay, awesome.
So let's talk about the Collodi bracelet.
But that's what I love about it. I think the concept is so marvelous. Artifacts, you're learning. It's very clever, right? Really. I said that to Jack Kenny. God, this is what seemed so compelling. We had a little bit of that on Voyager too with all of our artifacts, but
Yeah, I mean,
He said I could.
I'm sorry, go. How dare we have a show where you have strong female role models, you have storylines where you're forced to think, and artifacts that have historical relevance. It's like, oh no, wait a minute, what about Snooki and Paris Hilton and like the real important things and Kim Kardashian's butt? What? It's just the reason, in my opinion, that our show is working is it is a family show that causes that it has, like Derek said, it has such a heart, and to me, it's like when I was a kid. My dad and I, one thing that we bonded over was television and film. We'd go to the movies, and then afterwards, my dad and I would say the lines to my dad, and he'd say them back to me, or I'd take on the persona, the character. And to this day, we do that. And for me to be on a show where I have guys come up to me all the time, men, they're like, my son and I, we do the lines, they love Pete, he loves Pete. And like, I'm making some kind of a mark, an impression on someone, a positive impression. And to me, that's like, I'm so honored to be able to be a part of that, to be a part of your lives. So to me, I think that's what's making the show so successful.